This is Dave with NAPCO Tech Support. In this video, I will show you how to connect multiple DL Windows workstations to a single centralized SQL server. If your computers are in a domain, you must get your local IT involved for this setup. Please feel free to pause the video at any time if it makes it easier to follow along. To clarify, when I say server, I am referring to the machine that has the Microsoft SQL Server installed on it. It doesn't have to be an actual designated server with a server operating system. It just has to be a Windows computer running the Microsoft SQL Server software. When I say workstation, I am referring to a computer that does not have the SQL Server software installed on it, but it does have the DL Windows Workstation software installed. To set up the server for other workstations to connect to it, you must first run the DL Windows Database Configuration tool on the computer that hosts the Microsoft SQL Server. You will configure the first part the same way you did in the first video of the basic training series. After you click Next and arrive at the second screen, you will have the option to check the box that says Use DL Windows in Server Mode. When you check the box, you will receive a message that says DL Windows has been configured in server mode. The credentials entered will be required for each workstation. Checking this box does two things. First, it configures the server for remote connections, and second, it enables the creation of a new SQL user with a fixed username of alarm lock, and beneath it, you will enter the password for this user. This is not a user to log into DL Windows with. This is a user that can connect DL Windows to the SQL database. This is used in the case that you do not want to use the SA username. And for the rest of the video, I will be demonstrating connecting the workstations to the server using this alarm lock username and not the SA username. Make sure you remember the password you type in here. Otherwise, you will have to connect to the database with SSMS using the SA login to recover this password. I will explain how to do that in our IT professional line of DL Windows training videos. For this demonstration, I will use the same password we use for the SA, which is alarmlock@2012, all lowercase. Click Next, and you should get the message saying, "The database has been configured successfully." After you see this message, click Finish. Next, go into your Windows Start menu and run the SQL Server Configuration Manager in the Microsoft SQL Server folder. When the Configuration Manager opens, navigate to the section that says SQL Server Network Configuration and select the entry that says Protocols for and your SQL server name, depending on which version of SQL you have installed or which instructions you followed. This name could be different than the one you see here. In the larger pane to the right, find the entry that says TCP/IP. If it says disabled under the status, right-click on it and choose the option Enable. Next, right-click on it again and choose the option Properties. When the Property window opens, click on the IP Address tab. Scroll down to the bottom and make sure it shows 1433 for the TCP port. If it doesn't, then click in the area to the right of the TCP port and type in 1433 and click Apply. If you had to change these settings, these will not take until the server restarts. If you have to restart the server, simply click on the Server Services entry on the left, then find your SQL server with the name in parentheses on the right, and right-click on it and choose the option Restart. Now that your server is configured for remote connections, we must configure the firewall on the PC to allow those connections in. Once again, if these computers are in a domain, you must get your local IT involved, because these settings will be done differently depending on the rules established by your company's domain policies. First, we will create inbound rules for the SQL Server ports. To do this, go into your Windows Start menu, type in Windows Defender Firewall into the search, click on the option that says Windows Defender Firewall with Advanced Security. Select Inbound Rules from the left-hand column, then click New Rule from the Actions column. From the new Inbound Rule wizard, select Port and click Next. Select TCP, then select Specific Local Ports, enter 1433 and click Next. Select Allow the connection, click Next. Select Domain, Private, and Public, and then click Next. Give the rule a name. For example, I will name mine SQL TCP 1433. Next, we will do the same process, but this time for the UDP port. Select Inbound Rules from the left-hand column, then click New Rule from the Actions column. From the new Inbound Rule wizard, select Port and click Next. Select UDP, then select Specific Local Ports, enter 1434 and click Next. Select Allow the connection and then click Next. Select Domain, Private, Public, click Next. Give the rule a name. For example, I will name mine SQL UDP 1434. Now that you have everything set up, you will perform the next procedure on every workstation you wish to connect to the server. First, you will install DL Windows using only the DL Windows Workstation installer. Do not run the server installer. If you do, it will install another SQL server on this computer, and it will only confuse you when you are trying to find your server during your database config. If this is being installed on a PC where multiple Windows users will be logging in to use DL Windows, then choose the option for everyone. Otherwise, you can leave it at just me and click Next. Click Next again, and it will begin the install process. You may get a Windows pop-up asking for your permission to make changes to the PC. Allow it, and it should finish the install. When it is complete, click Close. Now you will run your database configuration like you did on your server. Find your server name in the drop-down menu. Set it for SQL Server Authentication. I will use the username of alarmlock, capital A, capital L, the one that we set up on the server with the password of alarmlock@2012, and click Next. You should get the database has been configured successfully message, and then click Finish. Now all you have to do is run DL Windows to test. As always, if you need documentation for any current NAPCO devices, or if you're looking for more videos like this, head on over to our technical library at tech.napcosecurity.com.